I'm really, really excited to be here, Executive Secretary, all protocols observed. It's not every day that an African like me can sit in front of you and talk about advanced semiconductor manufacturing. So it is really important for me to hear all the synergistic conversations that have come out today, and more importantly, around the minerals and the value chains. So I'm here to talk about Origin, and Origin is Origin Innovation Labs, to be precise, is a brainchild of UNECA, and also supported by the Association of Entrepreneurial Universities and in Africa. Our part on how we play into this is as a commercial partner. And I'll start by perhaps telling you a little bit about how semiconductor technology came into the continent, and specifically in Kenya. So my background is I've been in the semiconductor and advanced microchip manufacturing globally for over 25 years. And in all my forays back and forth from United States to Europe to East Asia, what I found out is that the supply chain, as vast as it is, which is $570 billion a year, and by definition, a supply chain is an interrelated mix of activities, including distribution, manufacturing, finance, policy. In all those 25 years, there was not a single time when I sat in advanced conversations in Samsung or Global Foundries or other places where Africa was even in the picture with regard to value chains, supply chains, with the exception of minerals. And even then, the minerals, which account for about 60% of the bill of goods for the manufacturing of advanced technology, is literally hogged out of our ground and shipped for value addition elsewhere. And so through all that time, it was clear to me that the supply chain was very disproportionately designed. So much so that, notwithstanding all the investments that exist globally in semiconductor and advanced chip manufacturing, 0.01% comes into the continent in terms of the total value of $570 billion. Semiconductor Technologies Limited is the only semiconductor manufacturing company in the continent. We're located 3 hours from Nairobi in Kenya, which means we're in a rural community. Our vital statistics are that we are 100 employees now after 3 years. 70% are women engineers. Our demographics are, we are 25 years old on average. Well, if you add me, it's about 35. And these are the most vibrant minds, and that'll explain a little bit about Origin in just a minute. So the barriers to entry of advanced technology and industrialization in the chip technology space, in my experience, was number one, was workforce and skills. I know the Honorable Minister talked a lot about heritage education 5.0, I believe. I think that a lot of merit has to go into our institutions. However, the disposition of the education system is designed for job seekers. However, if you look at Kenya, where I've been now for 5 years after moving from the United States to start this venture, Kenya is a very vibrant hustler type of an ecosystem. Everybody has a side job, is doing something different. So there's not a shortage of energy for us to be where we ought to be. I believe there's no shortage of academic energy for us to understand foundational concepts around advanced technology, manufacturing and otherwise. So what's the gap? The gap, in my opinion, and I'll tell you this, it's not a very flattering thing for me to tell you, but what I heard from the large chip makers as I was trying to convince them to get entry into the continent was, well, we just don't feel that the African continent has the capacity to absorb advanced technology. So I said, fair enough, so what do we need to do? And I said, of course, it's rhetorical. I know that our institutions can generate the capacity that we need. And so the first barrier to entry is skills. The second barrier to entry, secondary by far, is CapEx. The third is policy. And then, of course, we started addressing some of these issues deliberately and started our venture in 2019. Unfortunately, we landed, or I should say fortunately, we landed right in time for COVID-19. Now, COVID-19, as abhorrent as it was, actually shaped what STL is today. 100+ engineers doing amazing things in advanced technology. And why did that happen? Is because our business model was built on bringing in enterprise from United States, Europe, and Far East into the continent wholesale and starting an enterprise. Well, COVID-19 showed that that was not possible. All the supply chains closed down, and so we had to do it organically. Today, Honorable Chair, one of the things I can report to you is in terms of advanced technology, those young men and women 3 hours away from the capital in a rural area are producing the most advanced technology that there exists in the continent. And so we've solved the skills issue or the perception of a skills issue. In terms of CapEx, obviously we need a lot of investment inflows to support the CapEx. We need government intervention, obviously. Today, Executive Secretary, one of the things that is important to me is not only did I come here for the forum, I came here and met partners. We're working with a Frexim Bank right now, talking about how we can create capacity in the mineral value chains and workforce development. We're talking with Google and others about how can we hyperscale some of the platforms that we're trying to build. We're talking to many different people, including the Botswana government through the NEO Hub, on how we can start creating centers of excellence for chip manufacturing in the continent. So about Origin. Origin is a platform that puts together research and development innovation towards the creation of enterprise, micro SMEs, SMEs, large cap companies, and generally the global supply chain. So what it is an ecosystem that has the academic to commercial nexus that allows for ideas to originate or ideate and go into production. And so Origin, a brainchild of UNECA and United Nations and the AUEA, is a really, really vibrant and important part of what we believe advanced technology and industrialization will be to the African continent leading up to 2030 and 2063. So with that, I'd like to appreciate all the guests that have spoken wildly about all the things that we're doing. I really appreciate the value chains for minerals. Semiconductors are built out of minerals. All the vanadium, titanium, all these minerals that need to be purified, right, have to be built on silicon. Right now, we have evidence in Uganda and other places that there is the right type of polycrystalline silicon that can actually manufacture silicon wafers. And that means the value chain for silicon has to be observed if we are going to be successful in microchip manufacturing. So with that, thank you very much, and that's what we're doing with the Origin Labs.
Very much, Dr. Anthony.